This adorable game is for everyone who loves farming sims like Story of Seasons and Stardew Valley combined with creature collecting, and that is full of nostalgic Pokemon vibes. We are back with an immensely cute and addictive game that has just been released in early access, and I'm here to give you a quick overview of it. Ova Magica is a farming/fantasy life simulation and creature collecting hybrid that is very reminiscent of Pokemon, because we essentially take care of little blobs that fight for us in blob battles and tournaments. Like in Pokemon, we have got some more or less a friendly rivalry going on in our little town, which made the whole setting and relationship dynamics between the characters a lot more interesting, to say the least. It had a very familiar and nostalgic vibe to it that I couldn't quite pinpoint myself, but the developer has actually stated that Ova Magica was specifically inspired by Harvest Moon Magical Melody from 2025. So we are not only getting exhilarating battles, but also a cozy farming experience to immerse ourselves in. It is doing a really good job at feeling like one of my favorite childhood games, but without directly copying them. We can create our very own character with any physical appearance of our choice and an own name. We've got 4 skin types, a bunch of different eyes, eyebrows, and I was very shocked to find out that there are so many cute hairstyles to choose from and even more to unlock later on. The starting outfits were also very charming, especially this cute dress inspired by traditional German clothing because our Ova Magica dev is from Germany. In Clovertown, we are welcomed by 13 NPC characters that we get to befriend and eventually romance. Ova Magica was actually purposely designed to make us players actively engage socially with our community, so everyone who enjoys interacting with the 2D characters will likely have lots of fun with discovering everyone's personal backgrounds and unlocking special character events. Obviously, I couldn't get to know everyone completely in such a short amount of time, but I'm really happy to say that these characters felt surprisingly lively to me, and you could clearly notice different relationship dynamics among the villagers too. The developer has also hinted at more complex character backgrounds that involve more serious, dark topics, and I think that would make such a great contrast in this otherwise very vibrant and colorful world. As mentioned before, yes, there will be romance, which is very much up my alley, of course, but I can't go too much into detail about it yet because romance will actually be added a little later down the line. But I'm already really looking forward to it, because the characters seem to have more facets to them than we might think at first glance. Ova Magica has an active time battle system that was first invented and used in 1991 in Final Fantasy IV. Essentially, that means the battles are turn-based, but instead of alternating turns equally, the order of turns is determined by the blob's stats and casting speed of their attacks, which can give them the advantage to act faster than their opponent. At every turn, we get to choose whether to attack, defend, use an item, or escape. Initially, the battles turned out quite challenging for players who weren't familiar with turn-based battles, but it seems like veteran turn-based RPG players found it very easy to handle. It is always hard to strike the right balance for everyone, but the dev has stated that they will make sure to tweak the system so that everyone will get their full enjoyment out of the battling mechanics. I have always been a huge fan of Pokemon and other turn-based RPGs in general, so I had a lot of fun with this battle system. First of all, I was absolutely in love with the blob choosing scene that immediately catapulted me back to my childhood. There are 3 different elemental blobs: storm, forest, and magma, and they are apparently all suited for different blob trainer personalities. Stormy blobs are the mysterious and witty ones, forest blobs are the calm and friendly ones, and obviously magma is going to be for trainers with a fiery temper and an adventurous nature. And I just really appreciate the amount of detail that went into shaping the whole creature lore and ultimately their bond with their trainers. We can also feed a pet and play with our little blobs, and they all have their own food and toy preferences. I am still really looking forward to the crossbreeding, as we have countless of possible breeding combinations and currently 33 different blob types that we can all unlock and collect in our Blobpedia. Which elemental blob would you choose? Storm, forest or magma? Let me know in the comment section down below. We will get our own farm to take care of that requires all the usual steps that we are familiar with. Preparing the soil, planting down the seeds and watering them. And apparently later on we will be able to work more efficiently by letting our little blobs help us with our farm work. According to the developer, Ova Magica is about 60% farming and 40% battles, just so that you get an idea of how your gameplay loop could look like. Also, please check out the developer's interview with Josh's Gaming Garden for more insight into the game, because I personally really enjoyed this episode. There are also a bunch of other activities that we will be able to enjoy, such as fun seasonal festivals, cooking, crafting, bug catching and fishing. Of course, there's also customizing and decorating both our farm and our house, but at the beginning of the game we actually start off in a tent first and we need to work hard to get our first house. But there are lots of blueprints to collect that we can use to craft furniture items and other decor for our farm. One significantly big feature to come will be the romance system, including marriage without the option to have children. Also planned to be implemented is the Adventurers Club that lets us explore ancient ruins, along with endgame content, more character events, blob worlds, and even more decorative items to unlock. According to the dev, Ova Magica will stay in early access for 8 to 10 months before getting a full release version. But it is already packed with lots of features and it feels surprisingly polished for an early access game. However, if you are more interested in the characters and the romance aspects of it, please know that the current early access version will only let us view the first 2 or 3 hard events for each character. I hope you enjoyed this little overview of Ova Magica. Please always let me know your thoughts on the game or maybe other farming sims that you would like to see in the future. But that's everything from me. Have a lovely day, my friends, and see you in the next video.